in Cameron on that stage, it showed me when they have to compete against the elite, they're more than capable of doing it.
All right.
That was the game for me.
We got a full Carolina side over here. We got Psycho T, Tyler Hansbrough in the house. Tyler, good to see you again, my man.
It's a great day. It's a great day to be a Tar Heel for sure.
The only one who's going to come across with even more juice might be this dude who hates Duke as much, if not more.
He probably hated more than me.
So here's what we came up with. We came up with Shaman saying the rivalry is over. It's over.
Not my eyes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
This is like my second favorite song here right now. All right, I'm bumping you down. Would you clean that up? Would you clean that up?
I'm not cleaning it up.
Finish that up. Clean this up.
I mean,
but it's hated forever, right? It's never going to stop. The rivalry's not going to stop because of this one.
I don't think we
think
can
what
beat Duke enough, is my opinion.
Yeah.
And I will say this.
Get this man in here.
I hope they're quiet for a little bit.
I think
they're
they
not
will
gonna
be
running their mouth for a little bit. I mean, I've been kind of tame on my social media since we smacked them down yesterday, and what we did to them in Cameron. If that's not a statement, we went to their house and ended it there. And then if it wasn't enough, we brought it to them in the tournament again. So yeah, I mean, we came out. I mean, Caleb Love's starting to evolve, but to me, a huge X factor is R.J. Davis comes down the stretch, hitting big shots when we need it. His jump shots have been really consistent lately, and the chemistry and quality shots that this team is making is unbelievable.
They've been fun to watch. They've been fun to watch lately. Yeah. All right, I've always wanted to ask you this, and I don't think I ever have. By the way, the best part of Tyler is that, and I love this, I love how far you've come. Because when we met each other, Tyler didn't want anything to do with the media. Then I beat his ass in ping pong, and it all changed.
Yeah, me and Jeff played a little ping pong.
Really?
What type of ping pong did we play?
Do we play Texas
We
style?
did.
All
We
right.
did. We played a little Texas
you
style.
familiar
Yeah,
with
we
that?
did. So Texas style, you get 2 points in a row, you take your shirt, put it over the head, and the other person gets hit you with the ping pong. So, I mean,
I think I might have hurt Tyler.
Nah, you ain't heard it. he come from our
But
stock.
it's
He ain't heard
it's
it.
so good. Honestly, it's so good to see you. How you've evolved.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's been a long time. Since
Yeah.
we first met each other, it's been a long time. But, all right, the question I've always wanted to ask you, I've heard this, and I don't know if it was folklore or not, but you would go to a bar, to somewhere in Chapel Hill. Maybe it was in Durham. I don't know. And, I heard you would get into fights or damn close with Duke fans.
no.
Not true.
No,
Not true.
No. First of all, I never went to Durham.
Well, what about when they come to if they come to Chapel Hill?
I didn't like
bars?
that. That's our campus. Yeah, you could have came to school at UNC, but
So they
you
couldn't
can't
come to
play at
Franklin
Duke
Street.
and then come over to our. I mean,
So would you say something like a Duke fan comes to Franklin Street? Are you saying something to him?
I might say something that could be taken as a compliment, or it could be taken as open-ended. However you want to, determine that comment came
But
out.
you didn't like it. You saw a Duke fan there. You did not like
No,
it.
I bought into the rivalry when I was in school.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably wasn't the best mentality, but
You
I didn't-
hated Duke. Hated him.
No, I didn't hate Duke. I actually respected Duke a lot. I don't think honestly, this year's kind of built some dislike for Duke, and I don't know what it's been, but this year I've never hated Duke. I would say NC State. I've never liked NC State, but Duke. Yeah, I mean, there's never really any hate for Duke. No.
How did you celebrate last night?
I celebrate. I was happy. We had
For sure.
the whole family there.
Did you? Everybody? So last night, what was it like? Everybody was out at a place together? All you guys?
I mean, we stayed in the stands for quite a few minutes, making sure that everybody knew that everybody couldn't come back Monday night. Everybody in that arena couldn't come back Monday night. It was only a select few could come back that Monday night, right?
Oh, yeah.
So only a few could come back. And, I just wanted to make sure myself, I waved a few people.
Tyler, what's your
Great
fondest memory for you of the rivalry?
The rivalry, my freshman year, when we the 05 team just won a national championship, and we weren't picked to do much, and so it's kind of a rebuild year. Duke, J.J. Redick, Sheldon Williams, they had a lot of firepower. They were getting a lot of pub. They were a top 5 team. I think we were top maybe 20, whatever. We went into Cameron and won. That was a big moment for our team. We didn't really have, I was a freshman. I was a young guy, first time in Cameron, and we had a lot of guys that never played there, and we had a young team, and we learned a lot that night. And also we had David Noel, who, in my opinion, was one of the best leaders I've ever been around.
Really?
Yeah. He coming off the 05 team, he was one of those guys that, had some minutes, and then, he wasn't a main player, but he knew his senior year that, they had just gotten rid of all the, Sean May, Ray Felton, Rashad, Marvin Williams, all those guys. Mm-hmm. And then Dave, he was a senior. He had, had some years under Coach Williams, and he did all the other stuff, but also he did a lot of things right, and he was good. He would teach the younger kids how to do things, and I don't think you see that a lot in college right now.
What was your relationship like, if at all, with Coach K?
I respect
Zero?
Coach. I got a lot of respect for Coach K. What he's done at Duke, and the last night's game, it wasn't about ending K. It wasn't about
for him. It was.
It wasn't so much about ending him.
Yeah.
I got an affinity for Coach K.
Yeah.
I probably got the best relationship than anybody with Coach K. It wasn't so much about him, but it was a statement. It's the statement that was made that this is the first time this has ever happened in history. And we made the statement that our program is better than yours. Period.
It was never a debate to me. I've been
for anybody that had any questions, Tyler, tell them.
I wouldn't trade, my experience at Carolina for anything, and I think there's a lot of people like that.
What's your record against Carolina? Duke.
We lost twice, so what is it, 82? Yeah. We went 4-0 at Cameron and lost my freshman year at home.
That's the craziest stat ever. Think about that. He went 4-0 at Cameron.
I didn't lose to Cameron either.
I'm 10-2.
Did you go 4-0? You went 4-0 too? We got 2 guys that went 8. What were you?
10-2.
That's freaking nuts.
I'm 9-1, I think, in my career.
That is nuts.
I think I'm 9-1. I think I lost one game, maybe.
I lost more than Maryland. I lost more to Wake Forest than I did Duke when I was in college.
No,
Randolph did 2 of those.
My point is that, to me, it was more about these kids trying to get a national championship. And I think it would be selfish if Carolina looked at, we took K out. And guys had a good career. It's hard to argue about that. But this team has a chance to be one of the great teams. And, I don't think there's any team, if you looked at it, that's had more growth in season in college ever than this team. You go from a bubble team to maybe winning the national championship. And
but they won't let Bubba, Tyler, because Jeff.
Jeff, that's
my man. Jeff is my guy.
It's because of the losses in the house. Listen, you guys have to admit, when you go back and you watched Purdue, 20-point loss. You watched, Tennessee? Tennessee, Zimbabwe.
You have to understand
Miami.
It's a
there were
new
6
team.
losses that were just.
So I disagree. I think the Purdue loss is acceptable. And the reason I say that is because I thought Purdue was the best team in the country at the time.
They were.
And I thought the kids fought. And that's, to me, as somebody who watches, it's never about winning or
I would
losing.
say Purdue didn't feel that way.
If you had been there, I was there.
No.
And I called them soft. And you would have been embarrassed. Like, to me, the way you play, more than anybody in Carolina, maybe damn history, if you had been there at Mohegan Sun, you would have been like, I am embarrassed.
Well, I think the Tennessee game was
more
the
than
one
Tennessee
that was more disappointing.
More than Tennessee.
But the
Purdue, they actually fought. You're right.
Or Pittsburgh. Once you get past those initial games, then you get in the conference, and then you lose that way to Pittsburgh. That wasn't close.
We lost at Notre Dame.
No.
You
North State.
Listen. You guys are taking certain games, but this team had 6 or 7 games. You guys didn't lose 6, 7 games by 20 points. An average of 20 is what I'm saying.
It was a new team.
You weren't competing.
I think this is what I think.
You guys know this because it's the reason you went there.
It's because it's North Carolina that nobody took into account that was a new team.
Nobody cares because it's North Carolina.
But you don't have to care, but you have to understand that they're still learning how to play within this system.
K gets a better excuse for his freshman.
Hold on. How about Arizona? They had a new coach. They had a new system. They had new players.
Well, they didn't have the same type of tradition.
Well, you look at R.J. Davis.
Hey, I went to Arizona.
I know you did.
His growth is amazing.
R.J. Davis' growth on this team has been unbelievable.
Awesome.
And I would say last year he probably didn't get the minutes that a lot of us would have liked to see. Right. And to me, I would feel like this year is kind of his freshman year. The whole COVID thing and going through that, and then this year coming out there and kind of hooping.
But again, the thing I think the biggest thing that's different about this team than the other team that you guys played on is just there's
freedom.
Not well, aside from the style of play, but just meaning you guys had surefire first round draft pick pros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this team does that. That's why I think people were so concerned, because it wasn't like you were looking at a guy going, all right.
You're right in that regard, Redo, but we don't look at it like that.
But I'll tell you this, Caleb, you can't tell me the way Caleb Love's playing, he's not a first-round pick. I would say 30, 28. I mean, you could see a team, all it takes is one team in the first round to say, yeah, I won.
Oh, no question. And the way he's playing.
I'm going to say this. You can't find a better closer.
Not right now.
Not right now.
It's hard to argue with that.
I'll agree. We don't have, you look back in the team, the 05, Sean May, Ray Felton, Marvin Williams lottery picks. My team, me, Ty, Wayne, Danny.
Loaded.
But it's also good to see. I mean.
No, I'm not knocking it. I think it's just one of the reasons why you felt like it wasn't going to turn around.
Oh,
because you just didn't feel like
I don't. Well, we don't look at it like that. We don't look at it
of course, you guys don't. I'm just saying objectively, but it's no different than if that's the case and we flip the coin and look at Duke. It's freshmen, so you're going to feel more leniency to say, all right, these freshmen, no matter how talented they are, they're freshmen. Whereas that you guys have veteran guys.
But for them, it's a system that they already have that one of the greatest coaches is in charge of. He's in charge of that system for them, so they're being implemented in something that is kind of already.
They got to figure their way out. They're still kids. They're still freshmen.
But there's direction. There's direction. Hubert has to change the direction of how things work.
It's a heck of a lot easier when your kids are older to do it than it is with freshmen.
No, because you really.
What?
It's let me tell you, Carolina system, baby, Carolina system. Now, I'm trying to tell you now, you get used to doing something, and that's what you're used to doing. Like, this is what I do. So now you're being asked to do something totally different than what you. So now I got to figure out.
It's a heck of a lot easier to take the handcuffs off and be a little more freedom than it is for me to try to tighten the rein up and go from Hubert to Roy.
No, because you don't know if he's going to yank me out for taking this shot, because Coach Williams may have. You see what I'm saying?
Not when he's telling you to do it.
Well,
and he had been telling you to do it all year long. And let's be honest, this was not a deep team. So you weren't coming out.
You don't know that.
We saw it all year. They weren't coming out.
You got to.
You just having flashbacks of your days. That's all that is. You having flashbacks from when you came down there. Because if you shot an air ball, if you shot an air ball, you were like.
This is what I do know. When you look at Caleb, if you look at the beginning of the year for him, and look at what he's doing now, when it comes to a certain point in that game, he don't think about it.
He never had all year.
Yeah, he did. Because he would defer. He would defer, and he would defer to others.
To who?
RJ. He would get a ball to RJ. He would get a ball. He would get a ball to
Armando.
Armando.
Go back.
Listen, y'all can talk to you blue in the face. Hold on.
Hey, look up his stats. I bet how many 20-shot games did that man have?
20-shot games has nothing to do with when you try to
get who the heck is he deferring to?
If anything, he shot less.
Listen, man.
He shot less.
This is why he's asking me to coach his 10 and under team right here. Right here. This is why he's asking me to coach his 10 and under team.
When in all actuality, hold on.
Go ahead.
In all actuality, my team is the best in South Carolina anyway. I'm just trying to get him around winners. He's used to losing, so I'm just trying to get him around winners. You know what I'm saying? This is why he's arguing with me right now about winning. Come explain and win it.
I thought the next step was because of R.J. Davis' consistency and growth.
Caleb was always explosive. Awesome. But who is closing the games?
He has been there too.
Who is closing the game?
I will say, watching the game last night, we really needed a bucket, and RJ hit that mid-range coming down the stretch. But I will say, to Shamon's point, I think where I saw growth in Caleb's, I mean, there were some games where Caleb came out and he played. If things weren't going his way, he got a little tight. And his growth is, okay, he's not getting tight. He's still keeping that mentality down the stretch. Whether he missed 4 or 5 in the first half to begin the game, he can get hot late.
He shot it off the backboard. He shot it off the backboard. It hit the ground. They caught it, threw it right back to him. He shot it again and hit the 3.
I call that confidence. Boom. I don't call that anything else other than
I feel
confidence.
Like he's had that.
But confidence is one of the toughest things, aspects to me in basketball.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
The middle
but
part.
I think when your coach is allowing you and kind of reinforcing that and you're that player, I don't think it's as much. I'm not knocking you. I think he's the scariest guy to guard because and I said this today, he's a difficult shot maker. That shot, you can contest and you all up in here, and then he's still bottom of the net. He's that guy.
Here's my only counter to what you're saying. He is playing much more confident right now. I think a big piece of that is because R.J. Davis, they're putting the ball in his hands more, and he's getting easier looks earlier in the game. At the end of the game, when he's feeling good, that's when he's closing the game. Because if you saw yesterday, I think it was R.J. Davis, he got 12 quick ones to open up.
He got them.
And then throughout the course of the last month or so, he's had the ball in his hands a lot more, and he's getting easier looks early. Then that confidence rises as the game goes up, and then you just let that man go to work because he can play. Am I wrong?
But the ball is going in whose hands in the end?
I've seen it in R.J.
That's what I'm
Davis'
saying.
hand. I think they get it
He's
R.J.
always
Davis
had
as
that.
much.
I think he's always had that. Like, you just see him, and to me, I think Caleb Love has that mentality that it doesn't matter if he's 0 for 15 or 12 for 15. He wants the ball. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
They play well together.
They really do.
But when it comes to closing time,
Oh, no, it's
in
him.
the past few weeks, Randolph, I had the 3rd most shots on my team. You forgot I played with Antoine and Vince.
Oh, yeah.
And Ed Cota had the ball a lot of time. I just had to take what was given to me. Huh? Oh, yeah. And then I had to take the right shots. So,
Tyler, who was the toughest guy you ever went up against in college?
Toughest.
Who was the guy that matched your
I would say in the ACC, there's a guy, Trevor Booker, who was
his guy?
played in my program.
I know he did.
But you said I needed help. He just said I needed help. He said what did he say? That's the reason why he wanted to coach my program, because I got a bad program. That's pretty much what he said.
You and Trevor.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
He played hard, and he was strong, physical, athletic. He was a tough guy to go against. So, I enjoyed the battles looking back. We got a lot of respect. He never backed down either. So.
We had some good ones. I remember my freshman year, we went up to your place. I think we went to OT, and then Danny hit a couple of big ones. You obviously had a good that game. The Dean Dome, it takes
Talking about the double overtime game?
That one, yeah. The Dean Dome, it takes a second sometimes. It takes it. Yeah, you got us. We've only won one there. We've only won one. But
I think that was one of our most impressive wins.
I agree.
In my 4 years with Carolina, I thought you guys had us beat, and we got it into overtime, then we took it back into overtime. Honestly, I think you guys might have just ran out of gas.
I think.
Say that again. Hold on. They had you beat, but what happened?
We found a way. It wasn't.
I might have to revisit asking Oglesby to coach my team. Can't close out the game.
Tyler, what are you doing now? You still doing the podcast?
I'm doing Sleepwalk Worldwide. We're on every podcasting platform. Check us out. We cover anything.
This is the greatest thing ever. Explain to people what this
we
is.
cover whatever our listeners want. We cover the Bachelor TV series, and we covered
Tyler Hansbrough talking
NHL.
to Bachelor.
We cover whatever you guys want. Whatever they want, we'll cover. I got a co-host, Big Sleep Dog, myself, Big Hawk, and we're getting a section where our listeners can hit us up and we'll cover it, and we'll give a real life perspective on it and what we think.
So what's kind of the craziest thing that you've been asked to cover so far? Because people do that, and you got to know everything. It's not easy. right?
The Bachelor was really interesting. We actually got a pretty big following out of that. And then we cover a section where it's common topics where everyone just has like, oh, yeah, they're good. Like, yeah, they're good. And just you think your general, opinion is like the Beatles are good, but we think the Beatles suck. And we're like, why do people listen to the Beatles? And we can't ever figure it out.
Right.
But everyone considers them a great band. And so we talk about stuff like
So you're
that.
saying the Beatles suck.
If we could
Beatles
rewind.
suck.
Paul McCartney.
Imagine.
Baby.
Come on, I thought you were an old soul.
Could you
I like
imagine?
the Stones.
The Beatles suck.
Could you imagine thinking
Stones
back
good. I like them too.
to 2008, and then fast forward, what was it, 15 years? I don't know. My math sucks. But it's like Psycho T covers The Bachelor.
No,
That's the
no.
best.
This is insane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The whole
That's so cool,
whole
man.
Tyler Hansbrough transformation is insane to me.
I will say that
Right?
for me, because he was a kid that when he came in, what I loved about him was he was an earner. See, a lot of people just think that Tyler just became Tyler just because it was Tyler. He was a hard worker. He came in the gym. He played against the pros. He didn't complain. We busted his, we tried to bust his ass. We challenged him. We talked shit to him, and he rose to the occasion. There is no doubt in my mind. Those names across the front of that line, the retired numbers, and I played with one of them, Antoine James. I love him. That's my brother as well. Tyler Hansbrough is the earner out of that group, and for me, for the little earners, it means a lot to see what he became and what he's become now. Beyond that player, is he's evolved into a young man that like you said before,
It's
like
cool.
he had conversations with
It's so cool.
You know,
again, you were so quiet.
yeah, and he was intimidating. For most people, he was intimidated because his size and the way he carries. To see him now evolve into that person, like I had him on the podcast. We had him on the podcast, and to see him, I'm sitting there in my head like, man, look at this. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
to hear him on the podcast.
Well, you're like proud of him now.
Yeah,
it's almost
man,
like you watched him grow up
that's
from
the
a
little
kid.
bro, man. That's
Yeah,
the little bro. And he's comfortable having those conversations, man. And I mean, he's probably gonna do ACC television. I would like to see him because he'll shoot it straight. That's what I want.
We'll get him on the field of 68.
Like you just
if he's
said,
got
I won't lie.
the Beatles suck.
the Beatles suck. Unbelievable.
But he's evolved into an awesome representation of, I call us the unheard of.
Not just Carolina.
Yeah,
to me, not just Carolina.
Hold on.
but
The Tar Heels are
sport.
the unheard of. I need clarification here.
There are people that have exceptional gifts.
Yeah.
And there are some people that aren't blessed with the same exceptional gifts.
Yeah.
And so to have people that work at it, like there's only one debate about who had the most hours in the gym, who had the highest light bill, and that was he and I. That's how people who had the highest light bill. So to see somebody that mimics the things that you did years after, but to be up in the rafters, shit, hey man, that make it feel like I'm in the rafters.
You were going to say something about ESPN, so go ahead. You said
I talk about Shaman. I remember my freshman year, Shaman was, he was a pro. And I remember walking in the gyms. Shaman was kind of a late night guy. You would be in there about 8, 10, and I would be in there doing so. I was never kind of in there at night, but I used to always see Shaman in there. So we always had great examples. Shaman was a great example for me as a pro. And he was one of those guys that earned everything, too, and kind of worked for it. And so that means a lot from him, too. But, that's the way it should be. You got to go out there and, you get things twisted a little bit now. And I think kids get discouraged because Instagram, you see just the short clips of everybody doing well, but they don't see the type of work that Shaman puts in the gym when no one's there. You don't have a rebounder, but you're still going to do it. That means a lot what Shaman said.
Hey,
so.
can I chime something in? Just being a Clemson guy, and I was that guy who had the lights on late at night too. I just wasn't as talented as you guys, obviously, but I made a way. But there was always a thing with T, like you knew what he was doing, so you respected it immediately, and
man.
Nobody played harder. And that's just somebody from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, too. Nobody could draw a foul like Tyler Hansbrough.
What?
I've never seen anything like it in my life. I'll never forget that Coach K was teaching Duke to play with their hands bent backwards because you were so good at it. But, man, we knew you were ice tubbing it, the whole thing. I actually started doing that when I got to college because I heard you did it after every practice. Like, stuff like that. Like, that was pretty cool.
He's one of the very few freshmen that ever got to play when they first came to campus. So when he was playing, I'll never forget this. We playing, and he's, down there fighting with Sheed and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And, he's battling. And I never forget, because, when it's over, we sit around and we talk, and he shot his free throws, and he left. And, man, she was sitting there. I said, he different. He's different. And she
Not
was
intimidated
like,
at all,
like,
right?
yeah, he kind of like us. You know what I mean? Like, just the mentality, like, I'm going to compete. Like, and not saying that anybody else didn't. He just matched what we were accustomed to seeing. Yeah. And to see that as a freshman, like, it was like, like we knew he was going to be different. So it was like, okay, well, let's see, let's see how tough he is. And so every day it was like, get him, like, no. I mean, I promise you, we challenged him. And I'd be even some pros. Hey, man, stop him! Like, man, stop him! Just to see that, it was like, yeah,
Where'd you learn that
he's
from?
different.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably where I'm from, but I don't know if you guys, Voss Eptimon.
Yeah, that's my teammate.
I mean, that guy is a bull. You think I'm strong, you go wrestle with him for, Voss came back there and he trained with us. I think I got a little bit from him because everybody else compared to Voss was nothing.
Really?
I mean,
He was that strong.
this guy.
Yeah.
Shimon would tell you this guy was a bear.
Yes,
and, having him, Sheed was when Sheed wanted to post up, go in the post. I mean, Sheed's. I mean, he doesn't look, but he's so tall and he weighs so much. He's probably like 280 maybe or something. I mean, when he wanted to post up, he was posting. But we were lucky to have guys like him, and
They always came back.
Always came back,
Right.
and it's good for the kids too because I think that competitive and that culture kind of starts there.
And we don't have that. Let me be like, Clemson doesn't have
Most
that. There's
schools
been,
don't.
No, I mean, the crazy, we're 5 hours up the road, we're in the same conference. We have no semblance of that. Guys will come back for 2 days. Like, it just doesn't happen. That's what's special. I feel terrible now. I feel like Randolph talking good about Carolina, but it's like that sets such a precedent for, like, guys coming in. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing
All right,
thing.
listen, let's let him get out of here. We appreciate you stopping by.
I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
My man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best Tar Heels ever.